Oh, hey, we're going to talk about it right now. It's Friday, September 8th, 12:43 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I just made a video earlier where I was very much going, woe is me. I get it. I shouldn't be doing that. I get it. I'm going to talk about something. And I haven't planned this out, but I just suddenly, on the spur of the moment, I decided, you know what? Maybe I might start talking about this. I'm trying to get something out of my teeth. Sorry. So I met Grant in a group. I'm not going to talk about that part at the moment. It was where we worked together. And then, shit, why did I start this? Actually, I wanted to talk about the very ending. So I was kidnapped and taken out to some unknown place when I was I was 16. He was there. He later told me that he didn't remember the part where he got me into the car. He was told by his executives, his bosses, to do that. So he did that. I went along only because I, at the time, liked him, right? And they all knew that, and he knew that, and he knew he could get me to do what he wanted because I liked him. So we drove for about an hour and a half, maybe roughly two hours. This was after a bunch of stuff, but so we got to this place, which the owners of this place, I don't fault them. It was the people who did this, and it was wrong. It actually was wrong. I can't talk about it on here, like why it was wrong, but it was wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but things happened which were wrong. So, anyway, we went to a place out in the middle of the country. I'm going to call him G, was there. And he knew this was wrong. He knew it. He told me later that he knew all of this was wrong. Yet at the time, he just went along and followed orders, just doing what he should do because that's what he was told to do. But he knew he knew it was wrong to do this with me. So when we got there, it was pitch black at night. There was a caravan. So there was he on my left side. There was another lady named Peta O'Brien. And then there was Brian Cockerell. And then there was maybe someone else in the front seat. But G was sitting to my left, right? So they all got out of the car. Nobody cares to hear this. I know that. When we arrived, somehow it was like windy, and I'm recalling this. It was windy, and it was dark. It wasn't raining, but it was windy, and there were a couple lights out, but otherwise it was very dark. I don't think it was him, but someone told me to get out of the car. Said, "Get out of come on, let's go. Let's get it." I was like, "Oh, okay, what are we doing here? Like, what is happening? Like, can someone please tell me what is going on?" So there was a caravan, or like a, what do you call it? Just like a camper trailer caravan kind of a thing. Oh my God. Anyway, so I think it was him that pulled me out of the car because I would only listen to him or respond to him because I trusted him. So I got out of the car. He led me into that caravan. Brian followed us into the caravan. Grant, gee, nobody's listening to this, I guarantee you, followed me to the end of the caravan. He turned around and stood and faced me. He looked down, and I still remember seeing his face, looking up at his face and seeing him look down in shame. But he left me there. He left me there. He knew at the time, he couldn't do anything about it, I guess. But he didn't even try. He didn't even try to stop what was happening. Anyway, he did that. He turned around and he walked out of there. I was in a sort of like a state of like what the hell is going on? And I stood there and looked around, and it was like whatever, and like he had left, and Brian was still in the caravan, and I turned and faced him, and I knew I knew about him. Grant was gone. Grant had left with the rest of the guys. I stood and faced Brian, and I don't know. I don't think there were any words that passed between us, but like there was some sort of cup of something he tried to get me to drink, and I like poured it on his head. And I was like, "No, fuck you." I got out of there. I didn't feel safe with Brian at all. From his time spent alone with me at Fountain Court in Glebe, I felt very unsafe with him. He tried to molest me there. And this was really weird, right? Like, really weird. He proclaimed to know my family and know my dad from back in Perth. Like, I still to this day, I can't even believe how this guy weaseled his way in with my dad. And like, I don't know. I don't know. So what ended up happening was, oh fuck, there was so much after that. But he tried to molest me while I was at Fountain Court, and then again at that place in the country. he tried to force me back. Like, okay, so I knew this about him. I knew it. Okay, because I knew it was happening. Like, I knew based on previous actions. So, people know sometimes. Plus, like, someone sticking their penis into your hand, you kind of think that, like, okay, they're trying to molest you, right? So at that place, uh, woo. At one point, so I spent the night outside that night. I looked everywhere for G, the guy who I thought was someone I could count on. Everybody was gone. But especially him, I really thought that he was someone I could count on. I don't know why, but I just did. And I looked for him when I got out of there. Like, I poured something on Brian's head, and then I walked straight out of the caravan. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not staying in here with you. Fuck you. And I got outside. And when I got outside, everyone was gone. And I was left there by myself with Brian. There was no way in hell I was getting anywhere in a caravan with Brian. So I don't remember exactly what I was wearing, but probably my SO uniform, maybe. I don't remember what I was wearing, but nothing like pajamas. All of my stuff was back at the berth. I don't remember what I was wearing, but I was outside, and I remember praying to God. I screamed when I was outside. I screamed. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know who'd taken me, like who or why I was there. Nothing had been told to me. All of this had been organized without my knowledge, and like nothing had been told to me. You can't do that to somebody. And to say that, oh, she doesn't know where she is, she's just not in present time. Like, I'm sorry, but like, no, that person is remembering everything play by play as it's happening, and will remember this and all of the emotions that are happening as it's happening. So I was very scared. I was alone. All of my quote unquote friends had betrayed me. I had this old man who was like, trying to like, had been trying to molest me, and like was like, when we were there, especially the next day, he seemed very worried because he knew I knew. He knew I knew what he was trying to do. And I may not be like, encyclopedia smart, but I'm smart. Like I'm perceptive smart. I may not be like, smart about all the facts and figures of everything. Like, I'm not that kind of smart, but I'm smart in the way of like, I can see you. I can feel you. I know you. I know what's going on, you know? I'm that kind of smart. I'm not smart where like I remember what Babe Ruth did when he struck, his home run and blah blah. Like I'm not that kind of smart. Like I don't know that kind of stuff. Like I don't know all the celebrities. Like I have to look them up. Like I don't know them. I don't know the names of people who are in movies. I don't know who wrote that book. I don't know what's on that page, on page 54 of the Iliad. I don't know. I don't retain that stuff, but here's the other side of me, is that I can see through people's bullshit. I can see through people's masks, their facades. I can see stuff, so I'm that kind of smart, which is very dangerous. And someone like me can, throughout the ages, people like me, kind of scary, dangerous people, because I don't know, we just are, it's almost, never mind. I'm not gonna go there. Okay, so back to my story. So I'm out there, I'm struggling, I'm squawking, I'm screaming, like I'm outside. Finally I get tired and I'm in whatever clothes I'm in, I don't remember, but like I just lay down on the dirt that night. Brian was too scared of me at that point. He was in the caravan and I'm like, okay, fine, cool. I was on the dirt laying outside. He should have been scared of me, because if he tried anything with me, oh my god, he did try something with me at Fountain Court, and no. But anyways, and then he tried after that to get in with me psychologically. Anyway, so out at what was it called? That place. It was called, oh gosh, I used to know the name of it. Actually, the people that lived there were super nice. Like oh my god, like it almost brought tears to my eyes. The guy that lived there, that I think that was married to the woman who lived there, it's the next day. The sun's coming up. It's beautiful. There's birds, chirping and blah blah. Oh, you would think it's beautiful. I wake up on the ground and I'm like, oh my god, oh fuck, I need to get away from Brian Cockrell. I need to, like, first of all, I don't know what I'm doing there. My only thought at that point was, I want to get home. Like, I want to go home. And I want to get away from Brian. So I got up, I tried to go back down that path. I tried to see where the car might have gone to. I walked a long ways. And then, I don't remember his name. He was the nicest guy. He was so nice. He was so nice to me. He just talked to me and was like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh yeah, I probably had more of an Aussie accent back then, but like something about, I'm just trying to get home. Um, like there was a car that brought me here last night, and I just, I just want to get home. But obviously, he probably knew about like their plan and stuff. But he was like, "Oh, I understand. Well, let me just take you over here." Like he took me back to their house and stuff. Um, and he was cool. He was nice. He didn't try to do anything with me. Anyway, but I'll never forget the way that G looked down at the back of the caravan. It's one of those memories I used to just kind of like hold dear, and I used to like kind of think of it sometimes when, this was before he and I were ever romantically together. I used to just kind of think of that sometimes, and I used to just kind of, I don't know, like try to understand, like what was he thinking? What did he feel? Like what was going on? I know the whole situation was crazy, but here's the thing. Here's the kicker is that even though he told me later that he tried to, he told me in a message later that he tried to get justice for me, but oh, there's a lot to talk about. And this wouldn't make sense to anybody unless they were around at that time. So, I guess I better end this. It's just me blabbing and rambling. Sorry. Here's what I'll do. Next time I talk about this, I will write it down. I will write out a script. I will make it in bullet points so I don't get so off the beaten track and I'm not like all over the place, because I do want to talk about this and everything. Even if no one hears me or no one cares. But next time, I think I'll put it in a format to make it quote unquote interesting and like understandable and concise. And I know maybe I was already crazy, but like but maybe it might kind of explain why, like, I'm sorry, I'm taking the piss out of myself. It might explain a few things. I need to talk about my dad's death. I need to talk about the move to Australia and from Australia. I need to talk more about Brian Cockrell, because no one ever believed me. And I don't think I ever told anybody about it until, actually, I never told anyone because I thought, oh, everyone loves him. Nobody will believe me. I didn't talk about it until about 2018. Yeah. So I was literally lying downstairs, Unit 1 of Fountain Court, and Brian put his penis in my hand. And I was so shocked. And I freaked out, and I rolled over, and I tried to pretend I was still, like, my eyes were closed, but literally, like, when it happened, I opened my eyes for a second, and I was like, oh my God. And then but I didn't say that, but I saw it, and then I rolled over and tried to pretend that I was still asleep, and I was just in my sleep. I wasn't asleep. I had my eyes closed, and he put his penis in my hand was laying out like this. And he stuck his penis out and put it in my hand. And my eyes were closed. I opened them for a second and then closed them and then like turned over, like pretended in my sleep that, oh, it just disturbed me, and I rolled over in my sleep. But the amount of fear it induced inside me, like, was just like, I was afraid. And but nothing happened after that thank God. Dude, if he had tried anything on me, I probably would have, oh my God, I would have castrated him. Anyway, so that happened. There were other things that happened. He tried to kiss me at one point. I was just like, anyway, it was just like, anyway. So that's my recollection of that time period. But the fact that G didn't try to get me out of there when he told me later that, he knew what was going on, or like, he could have. Anyway, he said later that he tried to bring justice for what had happened with the higher ups, but anyway, whatever. Bye.